Welcome to another episode of Tizi Nyumbani. My name is Evelyn Oala and today we are going to train shoulders. Yes, shoulders and core. Most people have been asking me, oh, I want to get my core tight. I want to get my core tight. Today we're going to do a few routines on the core and on the shoulders. Okay, my name is Evelyn of Eval Health and Fitness, EVEAL. We'll start with the warm-up. As usual, the injured and the rest of us will do this. But first, I will give you 2 minutes to get similar size water bottles. This is what I would get for myself. So just get similar sizes, whether it's a Dasani or any other quencher, whatever water bottle you have that are of the same amount of weight, because you don't want an imbalance on both hands. So I'll give you 2 minutes to get those water bottles. I'm going to use mine here, the ones I have on display, the ones I normally use for my water bottle. This one has water in it, so I'm going to use this to drink during the session. So get those water bottles and let's start. I'll give you 2 minutes. Yes. Wake up. I see you still sleeping. Water bottles, yes. Please get those water bottles. If you can't find a water bottle, please you note that you can use a cup, right? A China cup would help. So you can take 2 of them of similar weight and brand, would help us a lot. So let's get started. Let's warm up, right? So we're going to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 26, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And then you do that because you're going to work those shoulders. So you just need them, right, warmed up. So just that, walking around, right, walking around, count to 30, walking around, just taking them round in circles, round and round in circles, right. Our rest time starts now. We're going to do a 30 seconds rest time starting now. So just make sure those shoulders are getting warmed up. You can move them to the front, move them to the back. We're trying to warm them so that we don't get any shoulder injury. We're going to do some shoulders and some core, some abs, a little bit of abs. Mostly I recommend compound workouts for abs, but now that we are home, you're basically working with what we have, and we can put in a little bit of abdominal workout to tighten that midsection. Alright, let's warm up again. We're going to do 20 jumping jacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember I said if you have an injury, this is what you're doing. Okay? Right? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I assume you are going on. Right? 20. So again, do 30 of these just to warm the shoulders and to get them ready for what is in for them today. Right? Keep warming them, warm those shoulders, right. So we have a last set starting now. Then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Well done. Now do this again times 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Keep going. Wow, now you're starting to feel the burn. Yes, you're right. So this current workout that we're going to do using the water bottles, you're going to get down in a kneeling position. We're going to start by training our shoulders before we go to the core. Okay, so if you're an elderly, probably you'd like to sit down while doing this. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. When we get to 15, you'll hold it there. Do this side 10, do the other, hold it there and do the other side 10. That will be 1 set, right? Perfect. If you can only go for the 15 here, it's fine. You can do 15 and keep on improving and graduating on what you're doing. If you're a beginner, we're going to go down on our knees, and the reason why we're going on our knees is to reduce momentum. The last time we did this standing, but today we're going to do it on our knees. So we're going to do that. 1, 2, when you get to 15, you hold it there, take this to 10, then hold that there and take this to 10. This is gonna burn, I can assure you. And if you're in advance, we're going to do 20 and 15 on each side. Yes, I said it, wake up. You're going to do 15 and 20. Let's start now. 1, 2, like you're pouring milk from a jar. 4, 5, 6, shoulder level. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's burning. 13, 14, and 15. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Keep going, don't take it down. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, that hurt, right? Good. Now our rest time starts now. 30 seconds rest time. You can decide to hug those shoulders. They've gone through a lot. In that one side, the burn. We are almost there. Right. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Let's start the next set starting now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, slowly, 13, control, 14 and 15. Then 1, 2, like you're pouring, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, hold it, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. Oh, up. Let's go. 1, 2. I'm not even going to stop that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Keep going. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. Ouch. I know. I don't know why I set the alarm for that, and they said we were going to count. Your rest time starts now. Hug those shoulders. Hug those shoulders. Hug them close. Right. Hug them, give them a gentle massage. How are you doing there? Right. Yeah, while seated. It still burns, right? Yeah, it's just burns the same way, and it has very little momentum, just the same way. So we are almost there. Perfect. So the third set, let's go. 1, 2, 3, move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. Perfect. Then you hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Ouch! That burnt. Hold it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, it's burning, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Oh, that burnt a lot. Right, that burnt a lot. Our rest time starts now. So we've done 3 sets of these, and I'm assuming probably you have done with me down there, or you are actually seated on a seat somewhere doing the same thing. So now we're going to do the front lateral raises. You hold your water bottle this way and do 1, 2, and when we get to 15, right? For the advanced, you will hold it there. 1, 2, we'll do 15 and then hold again and do 15. I'm assuming the beginners are doing between 10 and 12. Alright, plus the elderly, I hope you're doing between 10 and 12. The beginners and advanced, let's go back to how it is. Everything is going to be done down there, and the elderly are going to be seated while doing this. If you feel you can't be on your knees for long, maybe because of weight or maybe a knee problem, feel free to sit down in an upright position and do the same thing. Okay, perfect. So we go down on our knees again. 1, 2, 3, move. 1, 2, 3, shoulder level. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So you've got into 15, hold that up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Perfect, perfect. You're doing well so far. You're doing well so far. Your rest time starts now. So 30 seconds of your rest time starts now. And then we go to the next set. Hold those shoulders, hug them in. If you're seated, make sure you're going nice and slow, controlled, okay, without momentum. The main reason why we are down here is to try and reduce momentum as we possibly can, so that you're not using your body weight to throw your hands to the front. So you're trying to use basically your hands only. Okay, let's start again. 1, 2, 3, move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Hold it up. Yup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Let's go. 1, 2, you're doing well. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Perfect, 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 perfect. Your rest time starts now. We have one more set to go. One more set to go. For that, taking it right to the front. And if you're seated here, I hope you are taking it right to the front, nice and slow. And when you get to that 15th one, you hold it there, or the 12th one, depending on what you're able to do. I know the shoulders are burning, but that's the whole point. We are here to burn, right? We are here to burn and also just to enjoy the moment. There we go. Perfect. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, and move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Perfect. Our rest time starts now. So as I had promised, today we are basically doing shoulders and abdominals, right? So I will put the water bottle aside and we'll go back now to do the abdominals. So you lie down on your back, right? And we are going to tap 1, 2, 3. Okay, you're going to tap right onto your knees 15 times. Beginners, you can do 10. And the elderly, you can do 10. Okay, do as much as you possibly can to reach 15 if you're able to. So let's get started. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1. 1, 2, 3. 2. 1, 2, 3. 3. 1, 2, 3. 4. 5. Don't be in a hurry. Yes, I'm seeing someone tapping there very fast. Yeah. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15 and 16. I just did an extra one. So let's put the timer starting now. Perfect. So we'll rest for 30 seconds. Just make sure, just hug your feet, right? Hug your feet so that at least your abdominals get to relax a little bit. Hug your feet, hug your feet, hug your feet. Right? Then we start again. We have 10 more seconds to go before we start again. Are you ready feeling your abs? Today we are doing abdominals. We are putting in a little work on our abs today. Time's up. Let's go again. 1, 2, 3. 1. 1, 2, 3. 2. 1, 2, 3. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Well done, well done. Our rest time starts now. Our rest time starts now for 30 seconds. Hug your feet again, hug your feet, hug your feet. During your rest time, hug your feet again. Hug your feet, hug your feet. Right. We have 15 more seconds to go. You can sip water if you like. Today is not as hard as the last time because we're trying just to work on other simpler muscles like getting the abdominals and working those shoulders. That shoulder workout really burns, but we have to put in a little bit of the abdominal workout as promised today. So let's go again. The last set. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Our rest time starts now. So the next workout that we're going to do, hug your feet again, hug your feet. The next workout that we're going to do is leg raises. So you're going to be there, right? You're going to be there. Put your arms underneath your bum and do that. So you're going to do flutter kicks one at a time, right? Because some of us will not be able to do both legs at the same time. So we'll start with the flutter kicks, then eventually do the leg raises for both. That will work our lower abdominals. So we want to work the whole abdominal. The initial one we were doing was doing the upper abdominals, and now we want to work the lower abdominals. So our rest times are up. Let's go. Put your hands there, right? So 1, lift your head up slightly to take the weight. 2, right. 4, 5, beginners 12, advanced 15, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, don't stop, just keep going, 14 and 15. If you find yourself getting it hard to do it, just try as much as you possibly can. Eventually you gain strength for it. Don't stop, okay? Don't stop. So let's go again. Your rest time starts now. By now I'm sure those abs are feeling like they're on fire. Right. They're feeling like they're on fire. We have 30 seconds rest time. We have 30 seconds rest time before we do the next set. We have now 15 seconds. We do the same, the next set of flutter kicks before we do the 2 leg raises. There we go. We have, time's up. Time's up. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Perfect. Oh, I did 20 instead of 15. So we have, that was the third set. I want to believe, I've lost count, but I want to believe it was the third set. We're going to do double leg raises, and then now we'll move to the plank position. So we have, let me see, we have 10 more seconds of rest. So you can hug your legs. We have 10 more seconds of rest. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Today we are literally on the ground. There we go. So we're going to do both leg raises. Let's go. Beginners 10, advanced 12. 1, 2, 3, still straight. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Your rest time starts now. 30 seconds rest period. Today we are literally on the ground today because we were trying earlier to do some shoulders which really burned, and now we are working on this midsection. We want to get it all so tight, right? 10 more seconds to go. 10 more seconds to go. 5 more. 5 more. 5 more before we do the next set. Let's go. Both legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and don't forget to follow Eval Health and Fitness, EVEAL Health and Fitness on Facebook and on Instagram, because you'll find more tips there. Perfect. Those are 12, right? Those are 12. So next, we're resting for 30 seconds before we do the next set. We're almost there. Right. 20 more seconds to go. We are literally on the ground today. Okay, as you get your this done. Right. We have 10 more seconds to go. Just 10 more seconds to go. Right. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Let's go for the last set of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Perfect, that's it for today. The time will not allow us to do the planks, but if you want to know how to do the planks, basically you're going to be on this position here for like 30 seconds, right? So you can hold that immediately after this session and just hold that for 30 seconds. For the advanced, you can hold for 45 seconds for 3 sets, then you'll be done for today. You did an amazing work today. We were literally on the ground and you nailed it. Until the next episode, bye-bye.
Credit to you if you stay at home. If you must shop online, use your NCBA credit card. Stay home. Stay safe.
I'm going to show you some pictures, okay?
Mother!
Which one of them, Jono? need to get rid of every single one of the witnesses. You're one of the few who can still get close to Erica. You will be the one to kill Erica, as well as Jolo.
I have good news. Agatha's going to live with us again.
Welcome home, Agatha!
You know we've known each other for so long, but I never got to meet your son.
I can take you to him so you can finally meet him.
That's dangerous. What if she brings Jolo with her?
All the better for me, so I can kill them both at once.
We're ready for you, Rocco.
This is the time to make sure every table in Kenya has food on it. Dial *126# to transfer your Bonga points now so they can buy food and necessities at any outlet with a Lipa na M-Pesa till.
Safaricom is for you.
Kakamega County has initiated an administrative structure right from the governor up to the community administrator.
Kakamega County must be among the first to devolve services to community area.
We'll have experts in health, experts in education, experts in agriculture.
Kakamega County has been transformed. Sitima wametuingisia kwa kila nyumba ikiwezekana kubada huduma na rahisi.
And as a government, we are committed to ensuring that we deliver to the citizens what we promised.
This is NTV.
Good morning and welcome to Your World. As your life continues to move further away from what was normal, we're here to keep you company by sharing ideas, tips, information and experiences from East Africa and beyond. Well, to help you adjust to your new normal, my name is Joseph Warungu, and on the show this morning,
family has one of the most effective homemade hand wash stations in the county of Bungoma.
They say necessity is the mother of invention. As COVID-19 pushes the world to the wall, Kenyans join global innovators in fighting back the virus. Indians at it again with their interesting innovations. They've now built a social distancing bike to drive home the point of keeping safe. As a way of keeping children busy during these pandemic times, parents are encouraging children to tap into their creative selves to come up with creative innovations. Indonesian police don't have time for jokes. Well, they're using fire trucks to tackle lockdown violators. Today we're asking you, what's the best way to help Kenyan innovators develop local solutions to curb COVID-19? You can send us your comments, your contributions through our hashtag New Normal or our WhatsApp and telephone line. Again, we're asking, what's the best way to help Kenyan innovators find local solutions to curb COVID-19? Now, but first, let's catch up with the latest COVID-19 situation around the world. And this is what the figures look like this morning. As at now, we have 3,822,860 people who've tested positive for COVID-19. 1,302,892 have recovered. And we have sadly 265,076 people who've died as a result of COVID-19. So that's the global situation. Coming closer home to Kenya first, these are our statistics for COVID-19. 27,370 people tested so far. Of these, 582 have confirmed positive, 26 people have died, and 190 have recovered. Across the East African region, this is the situation, starting in Tanzania, where we have 480 confirmed positive cases, 16 people who've died, 167 have recovered. In Ethiopia, we have 145 confirmed positive cases, 4 people have died, 91 have recovered. While in neighboring Somalia, 835 people confirmed positive. Those figures are climbing quite quickly. And the deaths so far, 38, those recovered, 75. In other parts of the East African region, South Sudan, 52 confirmed positive cases. No one so far has died and no one has been reported to have recovered. In Uganda, 98 confirmed positive cases. No one so far reported dead and 55 people have recovered. While in Rwanda, 261 positive cases. No one has fortunately been reported dead, and we've got 129 people who have recovered. In Burundi, 15 people have been confirmed positive, 1 person has died, and 7 have recovered. That's the way it looks around the world, across East Africa, and in our own country, Kenya. Now, with a total of 8 cases in Nairobi's Eastleigh Estate and 10 more in Mombasa Old Town, the 2 regional epicenters have attracted a strict response. Ministry of Interior ordered for restriction of movement into and out of those designated areas, except if you're permitted in writing by a county police commissioner.
Kenya's almost 2-month journey of COVID-19 has witnessed highs and lows by numbers of infections, but due to targeted mass testing in the last few days, the numbers have been rising alarmingly. With a total of 68 cases in Nairobi's Eastleigh Estate and 10 more in Mombasa's Old Town, the 2 regional epicenters have attracted a strict response.
There shall be cessation of movement in and out of Eastleigh area of Nairobi with effect from today, the 6th of May 2020 at 7 p.m. for the next 15 days. There shall be cessation of movement in the area known as Old Town in Mombasa with effect from today, the 6th of May at 7 p.m. for the next 15 days.
In the Public Order Act released this evening, the Ministry of Interior orders for restriction of movement into and out of those designated areas, except as shall be permitted in writing by a county police commander. In Eastleigh, the affected zones stretching from General Warungu Road at Pumwani Hospital roundabout, 1st, 2nd and 3rd Avenues and 17th, 18th and 19th Streets, and roadblocks will be mounted at Eastleigh North, Eastleigh South and Moi Airbase. It has defined the boundaries of Mombasa's Old Town, whose boundaries will be marked at Makadara to the north and Fort Jesus to the south. The news of cessation of movement have not caught residents of Eastleigh by surprise.
Tunataka kupata afueni kutoka kwa serikali kwa sababu wametufungia Eastleigh. Hatuyuko tayari kulipa manyumba na maduka na all form of rent kwa sababu hatuna uwezo, kwa sababu kazi yetu imeharibika. We are not doing anything.
People here in Eastleigh have been tested for 3 to 4 days. And then within 3 and 4 days, the government has announced a cessation of movement abruptly without giving enough notice. So it's so unfair for residents and business people here in Eastleigh and people who depend on Eastleigh for their daily living.
Corona ambayo iko Eastleigh Mbona hatuoni contact tracing?
Wachani kutuonea, mtufungulie biashara tufanye kazi. Corona, hakuna kitu unaitwa corona serikali.
By blocking the movement into and out of two particular estates within Nairobi and Mombasa counties, the Ministry of Health now says that this will be the best movement to curb the further spread of COVID-19 in those areas it considers hotspots.
We have identified some epicenters where the numbers have continued to grow. These are especially Isli in Nairobi and Old Town Mombasa. The situation in those areas has now become of serious concern.
But there is yet another challenge for the authorities, that of patients now dying from home. The 2 deaths announced Wednesday are in Mombasa County and both died in their homes.
In the past 1 or 2 weeks, we have realized increased cases of deaths at the community level, or patients dying upon reaching the accident and emergency unit, especially in Mombasa. And therefore, they are likely to be shedding very high levels of the COVID-19 virus, therefore making them extremely infectious.
While mass testing continues in areas where containment has been imposed, the government now says that it will foot all bills of those who will be taken into isolation facilities for treatment. Leila Mohammed, NTV.
As a result of the containment measure instituted in Mombasa's Old Town, there appears to have been a mass exodus of residents just in time to beat the 7 p.m. deadline yesterday evening. Also affected by the new guidelines or new measures announced by the Ministry of Transport are thousands of truck drivers and Kenya Ports Authority workers in the coastal city. Kevin Motai with more.
There shall be cessation of movement in the area known as Old Town in Mombasa, with effect from today, the 6th of May at 7 p.m. for the next 15 days.
Not long after the government announced restriction of movement in and out of Mombasa's Old Town, some of the residents in the area started packing their belongings to seek refuge away from the area.
Hapa ndio inaitwa Mombasa Old Town. Fort Jesus iko mahali fulani hapa. Na tukiona hapa kuna hii barabara ya Makadara Road, ambaye inaanzia mahali nakutana na Digo Road, hii barabara mpaka Fort Jesus pale, alafu Digo Road upande huu hadi hapa kuna barabara nyingine hapa hadi kwenye ile barabara, jina lake nitawapatia hivi sasa. Hapo ndio mahali Old Town inaafikia. Kwa hivyo wakazi hawataruhusiwa kuingia au kutoka kwenye hii sehemu.
The government has been contemplating this course of action for a while now as a result of the surge of COVID-19 infections in the area. The Ministry of Health confirmed 32 more cases Wednesday as the tally hit the 200 mark in Mombasa, with 2 more fatalities reported in the county. And once again, Old Town has a huge number.
Cases in Mombasa are mainly in Old Town, with 18 additional cases being from the Old Town.
A truck driver has been denied entry into Mombasa County after displaying COVID-19 symptoms. The driver is said to have been tested 2 days ago in Kwale, and now he is stuck in Mariakani.
We are wondering how this individual was able to move from the county where he was tested for COVID and continue to do his usual work, which is truck driving.
The government has issued additional guidelines for port operators and truck drivers.
Before they are let into Port of Mombasa, ICD Nairobi, or ICD Naivasha, they must produce that COVID-free certificate. Otherwise, they will not be allowed to get into the port. Secondly, they have to be tested, like we said before, every 14 days. Every 14 days, so the certificate to be valid for only 14 days. Thereafter, they must show that it's actually been renewed.
CS Masharia also says that staff members at the Port of Mombasa have been reduced from 6,200 to 4,000, with only key areas such as cargo operations given nod to do business. The ministry also says that the arrival of the new ferry at the Likoni Channel will help ease the human traffic in the wake of rising community transmission of the deadly virus. Kevin Mutai, NTV, Mombasa.
The coronavirus pandemic has meant that all places of worship are now closed. And so what do you do when you can no longer make a livelihood through tithing and offerings, as one pastor in Mwingi would do? Well, Pastor Peter Musyoka says it's now eggs and smokies that get him through the day. Take a look.
A man has to do what he can do to put food on the table. And Peter Musyoka, the lead pastor of Mathiakani New Apostolic Churches in Mwingi, knows this all too well. With a family of 9 to feed and no offerings and tithe coming in since the closure of places of worship, Musyoka has decided to fend for his family only way he knows how, hawking boiled eggs in the street. But Musyoka is not the only one feeling the pinch. His flock are as well, and that makes giving a luxury.
Kama mtu akona mzee, wazee wengine hawajaokoka, lakini wameruhusu wa mama wao wakuje wawe waumini wetu. Inakuwa sasa ni vingumu, akienda kuitisha mzee kama huyo sandaka, anamuuliza anatoa sandaka ya wapi. Akimwambia anataka kutumia pasta sandaka, anaambiwa wewe kama ushaanza mambo ya kando na huyo pasta niambie.
Given a choice, Musyoka would rather walk the 7-kilometer distance to church as opposed to walking to Mwingi to sell his goods. Before the global crisis, Musyoka was assured of cash and foodstuff donated by his congregation, but now
inaweza kukuletea mbando ya unga na inakuletea 1,000 hiyo kama mboka. Mwezi ukiisha inakuja na gunia ya mchele. Lakini kwa sasa kila muhubiri amejipanga, anang'ang'ana na maisha vile anang'ang'ana. Kikiumana munalala njaa.
Musyoka says he will be fast back to the pulpit when the churches are finally opened.
Children at Eroe Children's Home, Komarok, embarked on a mission of producing masks as a way of keeping the young ones busy during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Some of the samples are like this. From here, we now take the material, the filter, and the liner. We now come and sew them with a machine.
This one we make out from the beginning.
Sewing them with the machine, the piece looks like this. But the mask is not yet done. From here, it's now turned into the other side and becomes a piece like this.
Hapa tuko ni Eroe Children's Home, mama volunteer here, nasaidiana na watoto kuwasaidia venye wataishi. Wakati huu kuna janga la corona, tungependa kuwahimiza kwamba watu wasisahau kujisanitize, kuosha mkono na kuwa keep distance. Sisi hapa Eroe watoto hawako shule na tumeona huu ni muda mrefu sana. So tumefungua mradi mpya wa kuwafundisha kushona mask.
Most welcome to Eroe Children's Home. Here in Eroe Children's Home, we have this great initiative of making masks.
Wanapomaliza kusoma haswa tunataka kunacha those talents na those skills na kuwata kuwahimiza kuwapatia moyo cause wengi wamepitia mambo mazito.
For many African countries, including Kenya, local problems are often tackled by importing answers from the outside world. But in the face of the coronavirus pandemic, which has disrupted supply chains, Kenya, like other countries, has been forced to look inward to meet the growing demand for medical and personal protective equipment.
They say necessity is the mother of invention. But if you can't invent, you can innovate, just like Paul Kariuki and Samuel Cairo, who've developed a prototype ventilator, a machine fashioned to take over the body's breathing process when the lungs fail.
It is assembled with locally available materials. So
After it is approved, we'll be able to produce more, but now we want to be producing them this way. We will be making them using 3D.
The group has already been commissioned by the government to produce a prototype ventilator which meets global standards in 10 days before they are allowed to go into mass production of the equipment. Their efforts will complement that of another group of students from Kenyatta University who are awaiting the government's nod to begin production of 200 ventilators every month. They are part of tens of other students in different universities currently burning the midnight oil in order to come up with solutions for the pressing challenges as the country battles the coronavirus pandemic.
This demonstrates the quality of students and the potential they have to take Kenya to the next level of becoming competitive in the area of invention and industrialization.
Disruption of supply chains by the outbreak has meant that many developing countries now have to turn to their sometimes neglected manufacturing industries for many of the products they normally import, and in Kenya, the sector has risen to the occasion. Many textile factories, including the Kitui County Textile Center, Shona EPZ Limited and Eldoret-based Rivertex East Africa, have shifted to mass production of personal protective equipment in order to meet the growing demand in the country.
We are able to do 2,700 pieces per hour, as you can see on the board there. And then also, we have, since there's a huge demand, we are also doing it for 24 hours. So in total, we are able to do at least 30,000.
You have no reason to doubt the products that come out of Kenya. That's my big message. You have no reason to doubt our capabilities. You have no reason to choose imported products in a supermarket over local products and have these, fake concerns around issues of quality.
While the government is taking note of these innovations, some simple ones, including this automatic hand washing machine which dispenses liquid soap followed by water, could go unnoticed. But was innovation really dead in Kenya, or was it just not getting enough attention?
We have been very innovative, and Kenyan youth and Kenyan people have been very innovative. What has been missing sometimes is the capacity to commercialize these inventions. Banks can be very, very risk-averse sometimes, and if a product is untested, then they don't want to invest in it.
In 2018, Kenya imported 1.7 trillion shillings worth of goods, even as the government allocated only 2.4 billion shillings, which is just 2% of the total spending on university education, to research, science, technology, and innovation.
Hand washing remains the most effective way of preventing the spread of the coronavirus. In Bungoma County, a young boy and his father took this advice to heart and invented a hands-free washing station that they believe is playing a big part in keeping their families safe.
At the beginning, it was tethered to a tree, this attempt by a young boy to provide homegrown solutions to the COVID-19 disease and its prevention, a clean, accessible hand-washing station.
Tulikuwa tumekaa na yeye tukiwatch TV. Kisha akawa ananiuliza kwamba baba, mbona tusitengenezee kitu yetu yenye tunaweza kuwa tunatumia kunawa mikono ambayo haiwezi kukuswa na mkono na miguu.
A few adjustments here and there, and this family has one of the most effective homemade hand wash stations in the county of Bungoma. This station is hands-free, and with just a press of the foot pedal, a user is able to dispense soap and clean water. The station has a basin and a wastewater disposal system. It is a culmination of a dream and a gift that the young boy has had.
Nichukua mbao za baba na nikatengeneza na nikafika pale nikashinda na baba akanisaidia tukamaliza.
Tuma kwa duka alafu akarudi akaniambia gai mama wanatangaza kwa radio kuna corona. Alafu watu wamechukua mtungi wanatoboa na msumari. Alafu wananawa, alafu tena mtu mwingine akikuja anashika msumari tena anatoa ananawa tena anarudisha. Sasa hapo hivyo Subaru tu anashika hiyo magonjwa tena. Sasa akasema si tutatengeneza yetu naita kwa hivyo.
And as they say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Stephen is only following in the steps of his carpenter father. For now, though, he can't do the heavy lifting when it comes to actualizing his ideas, so his father does that for him.
Unajua mtoto akianza kufanya kitu fulani mpaka umpe himizo uangalie venye anaendelea. Mimi ni mtu mimi na survive na talents. Sasa singependa ni uwe mtoto kama amejepuka na talanta fulani yenye inamsaidia katika maisha yake. Huenda maybe hata asifanikiwe kwa elimu venye anatarajia, lakini at least that talent can maybe help him in the future. Inamsaidia, inaweza manipulate na imsaidie kwa njia fulani ama nyingine.
This costs just about 3,000 shillings only, a paltry sum compared to what his county used to acquire jerrycans only for the same purpose. Brenda Wanga, NTV.
Okay, so today we are on innovation and COVID-19. And my guests joining me this morning, we've got Dr. Warungu, who is the Director, Chemistry Production Center at the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology. We also have Professor Patrick Kareru, Department of Chemistry, also the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology. And I'm also going to be joined a little later by Professor Bernard Ikua, Department of Mechatronics Engineering, Jomo Kenyatta University, and also Dr. Engineer Karanja Kabini, Department of Mechatronics Engineering, Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology. We'll also be speaking to a couple of the guys who are into the developers world, Elfas Kajira, who's a software developer, and Victor Muthembwa, who is a programmer and also has a medical background. But first, let me turn to the people. This is the chemistry, this is the chemistry, if I may call it that. Tell me, you've come this morning, you've invented something here, which we're going to talk about in a moment. Let me start with you, Dr. Warungu. Just a little bit about this particular innovation.
Thank you, Joe. We are glad to be here to show our contribution towards the corona virus 19. We have come up with a product which of course it has become a mantra of these days, of social distancing, washing your hands, keeping healthy, keeping safe. And one of the things that is commonly being advocated for use is hand sanitizers. And hand sanitizers are really ideal for purposes of keeping you safe and removing any germs and viruses on your hands.
What inspired this?
One of the things that inspired us is, of course, there has been a huge demand for these products, and there was a time that we had even a shortage, and we thought, and then of course there has been a lot of people outside there trying to make hand sanitizers. As us as a university and as trained chemists, we thought we have a contribution to make towards this, and our products is basically to fill up the gap that was missing under the hand sanitizers, and ours is really to ensure that we maintain the quality. So we have a very strict quality control, and our hand sanitizers actually meet the standards as set by the Kenya Bureau of Standards and the World Health Organization.
Okay, let me turn to you, Professor Kareru. What's in this? What are the components of this container here?
Okay, this hand sanitizer is an alcohol-based type. There are other types which are not alcohol-based, but basically the alcohol-based types are the best because they kill the bacteria and viruses. The alcohol content should normally be minimum 60%. So it can go all the way up to about 95%, but it makes economic sense to start at 60%.
Okay, one of the questions people normally ask when they're buying sanitizers, how do you tell what is genuine or what is suitable for use when there are so many in the market?
Basically,
what do you look out for?
You should look for the KEBS mark, because KEBS is the regulatory authority which makes sure that products to consumers are manufactured to the required standards and they meet the minimum quality requirements. And so people should look at the KEBS mark Usually there's a number which you can text using a certain code, and you can find out whether a product is genuine or not. Yeah.
Okay. Dr. Odu, if you can pass, because I want to keep my social distance, if you just pass the sanitizer closer to me.
Yes.
I would like to have a go and see what it feels like in my hands.
Let me just open it up for you.
It's got a big bottle. Do you have do you have smaller ones as well? Yeah, that's it.
Yes, we have a variety of samples that we have made.
Right.
Starting from the least amount we have is 50 mils, all ranging up to 5 liters.
Okay.
And the 50 mils is very convenient for your pocket or handbag. We have also for your car.
Yeah.
And of course, the big one is for your house.
Now,
and they come in two different forms. One is the spray, the one we have just tested now,
right.
And then the gel that flows easily.
Okay, it seems to do the job in my hands. What's that dominant smell? Is that alcohol or what's it?
Is alcohol.
Okay.
It's alcohol. Yes.
Okay. Sometimes when you use some of them, they are quite slippery in your hands. Some of them are a bit dry. What causes that?
You see, especially for it to flow, you need to add in a gelling element within the alcohol, because it's not 100%. As my colleague said, it's about 70% alcohol. So there are other ingredients that makes it jelly, because alcohol alone is a liquid. So we add some ingredients to make it a little bit jelly, and sometimes and this is where I think for us we ensure that we meet the minimum and the right quantities to make it so that you don't experience that problem.
So this one is approved by KEBS?
Yes.
Okay. Where are you at in terms of, are they already out there in the market? Where are you at?
They are ready. They are ready in the market. We are having them in our stores. We haven't rolled them to the general market, but you can access them from our university sales point.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, your university is known for a lot of innovations.
Yes.
Sanitizers is not one of them. Was this as a result of COVID, or was this a direction you had in the chemistry department?
We, under the Chemist Products Center, which is within the Research and Production and Extension Division, we do just more than the sanitizers. Our main area has been in soaps, in disinfectants, detergents, creams and lotions, paints. We are all in that. So this has also came to us as a challenge to meet the COVID-19 problems.
Okay, Professor Kareru, universities are currently closed as in terms of actual learning in the classrooms. For you personally, how has this COVID-19 affected or disrupted or impacted your life?
Quite interesting, because we are used to wake up, go to class, teach, do research, but the COVID has really disrupted our lives, and we now tend to work either from home or go to the office, lock yourself up, use emails to communicate, communicate with students. Certainly you find 2 or so students asking you about their proposals, correcting their thesis, and sometimes some recommendation because they apply for scholarships to study ahead.
Okay, and for you, Dr. Wood?
Well, I would say we have been busy. We've been busy. As you can see, because of these challenges, for us, we have been working and contributing towards fighting this pandemic. So I have a team with my colleague here. We have not just been sitting at home. We have been going to work at the office, and we have a team of about 8 technologists with us. And so we have been working towards this.
Okay.
Yes.
How long did it take from beginning to get to this stage where you've got a product out?
I will say this for us is is something that we are used to, so it doesn't really take long. For the moment, as long as we have the right materials, the ethanol is available, it doesn't take us long. And we are able to produce, at the moment, we are able to produce almost 1,000 liters a day.
Right.
Yes.
Professor, tell me about the materials. Are they all locally acquired?
Yes, they are all acquired locally. The containers are from the local manufacturers. The ethanol that we have used here is locally manufactured from Miwani. I mean, the suppliers are able to acquire from the companies making ethanol, the sugar companies. And the other materials are such as glycerin. Glycerin is a moisturizer, so that when you pour your sanitizer on the hands, you rub. After that, your hands become moisturized. Yeah.
Okay. And now, Dr. Wood, this obviously is in response to the current pandemic. If it ends tomorrow, would there be any need for your innovation then?
In fact, Joe, what I can say is that this is a wake-up call.
Right.
You know, this is now a new, we are going to have a new lifestyle, and sanitizers are going to be with us. I know they have always been there, but people have always taken it for granted. But I think for now, it's going to be a new thing, and we shall be there for a long time to come. So I don't see it coming to an end soon.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Wodo. Professor, thank you very much indeed. Now, attempt to take a short break. We'll be right back.
This is NTV.
You spoke, we listened, and now every weekday at 6:30 a.m. you can join Evelyn and Peter to get your daily fitness fix. Some body exercises and some dancing, while a teach you could even lose some weight. Get moving, we guarantee you will love it.
Uncertain times as we navigate the new normal, we hope that this note finds you and your family safe. We are indeed living in an increasingly challenging time, a time of disruption and a global lockdown, a disruption that has brought grief to some, financial difficulties to so many of us, and enormous changes to life as we know it. Now, though self-isolation may at times be hard, many people are discovering that it presents an opportunity for all of us to slow down, to pause and reflect. Many will feel a painful sense of separation from their loved ones, but we know that deep down that is the right thing to do. We should take comfort that while we may have more still to endure, better days will return. And even as we navigate this new normal, your favorite show, The Trend, promises you to continue providing a huge variety of splendid entertainment full of iconic acts, Skype interviews with our local entertainment industry heroes. And we continuously promise to bring you nothing but the best. You, our viewer, we want to provide a steady guide of entertainment as we face the future. Staying in is the new going out. stay home and stay safe. Make sure that you tune to The Trend every Friday right here on NTV.
The woman who stole his love from me, the one who took the man of my life from me, Grandma, is my very own sister. I'm returning your husband to you completely. I love him more than my own life. And that is why precisely what I want most is for him to be happy.
You never wanted my granddaughter in your son's life. If you accepted their relationship, it was only because I threatened you.
Neither your excessive makeup nor your provocative clothes help you to be special.
Isaac, you're still the same woman without a heart and soul, without scruples.
I'm not going to let you insult me.
I'm not actually insulting you. I'm just accurately describing you.
The three sides of Anna.
This is the time to make sure every table in Kenya has food on it. Dial *126# to transfer your bonga points now so they can buy food and necessities at any outlet with a Lipa na M-Pesa till.
Safaricom is for you.
Akili, 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 akili. Let's chase the germs away. Let's chase the germs away by keeping our hands clean. And when you want to sneeze or when you want to cough, do it in your elbow. Let's practice sneezing into your elbow. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Achoo! Again. Achoo! Yay! You did it! Germs, germs, germs. They make us sick. Germs, germs, germs are not our friends. Germs, germs, germs. They make us sick. Germs, germs, germs. Germs, germs, germs are not your friends.
We not frightened for nobody, but we respect everybody, and we better than everybody.
Yes, it's the baddest show, the weekly show, the biggest reggae show all over East and Central Africa.
Dance all of me everything. Dance all of me everything.
This Saturday ni kuchachisha, yani ni kuhakisha moto pale NTV Jambo.
Kuna maziko menoma sana. Who's the baddest? Nani OG mazee? Kwambie, anza kupita sahi mazee. DJ Mo alongside Miss Katima.
You know is Jambo right here on NTV.
From 10 p.m. till late. Who's the baddest?
Every girl I say fit them dying, but you have the pretty way.
Hi, my name is Eli Kuchoke. I would like to take this opportunity to wish all my fellow Kenyans peace and safety during these difficult times as we fight the coronavirus pandemic. Please follow the instructions given by our President, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, and the Ministry of Health as we fight this pandemic. 1. Wash your hands thoroughly with soap and running water. Or use sanitizers where necessary. 2. Keep your environment clean. 3. Stay at home and avoid unnecessary movement. 4. Take the necessary precautions to keep yourself and your family safe. Lastly, to my fellow athletes, please train in isolation and take necessary precautions. We shall overcome this pandemic. May God bless you and God bless Kenya.
Let the music hit you.
move you, or just make you end your day perfectly. Catch hit after hit of music that gets you grooving on weekday nights. Only on NTV.
Just move to the next level with the Daily Nation. Every day, every Monday, Junior Sport will move you to the top of your class with KCPE revision papers. To move to a healthier, fitter, and more conscious you, read The Healthy Nation every Tuesday. My network will inspire your career, your passion, your biashara, and your network every Friday. Just move to the truth.
It's Innovation Day here in your world today. We have a lot more coming up, but first, let's go to Murang'a, where young innovators from Mathioya in Murang'a County have come up with an automatic water and soap dispensing machine to fight COVID-19. The innovators say the machine is designed to be fully automatic with no human operation.
It has become a common occurrence in many public places to find water and soap for people to wash their hands as a measure to fight COVID-19. But James Nyakera has gone a notch higher to invent an automatic hand washing machine. The machine works with a number of sensors that are able to sense hands. It dispenses soap, then gives 1 4 seconds before water runs for 20 seconds. According to James, the machine can run on alternative sources of current other than electricity, making it easy to be used in rural areas.
Basically, this machine, it doesn't require any knob. You just put your hands there, and it automatically dispenses the liquid soap and water.
In Mwea, Kirinyaga County, a 28-year-old man has assembled a hand washing equipment where the person washing the hands does not have to touch the tap. The equipment, which can be powered by electricity, solar power and batteries, has been fitted with sensors which help in releasing water immediately hands are brought near it. According to Frederick Mwatha, he came up with the equipment to heed calls by the government on washing hands and to avoid touching surfaces that have been touched by others. Also in Meru County, a group of youth from Igembe North have been sensitizing residents on COVID-19 and preventive measures guidelines as per the Ministry of Health. According to Amaton Mugambi, a group member, they came up with the initiative of educating the community after they realized that most of the community members were not adhering to the Ministry of Health preventive guidelines. Haile Magongo, NTV.
Okay, so welcome to our studio, which is now an engineering workshop. It's also some kind of a ICU. We'll explain that in a moment. I've got two guests with me here. Professor Engineer Bernard Ikua from Jomo Kenyatta Department of Mechatronics Engineering at JKUAT. And we also have Dr. Engineer Karanja Kabini. They both come to share with us this innovation that's in front of us. First of all, to you, Professor, where did you get the inspiration for this?
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you for inviting us to speak about our innovations. We recall that from December 31st, 2019, well, that's when we had about the outbreak of the coronavirus, and allowed March, there was a lockdown in many places, and the universities were closed. And we started thinking, how can we contribute towards solving now this problem? Because it started from China and then spread all over after there was the declaration of the pandemic by the World Health Organization. So the university started thinking various areas in which we could contribute, and the College of Engineering and Technology now thought, in which areas can we, because of our strength, in which areas can we contribute? And we thought of so many things, with face shields, oxygen concentrators, ventilators, and so on. But we thought that the ventilators were the most critical element, because we felt that if the country is locked down, we may not have to import. And this is also a good chance also for us to prove that we can actually solve our own problems within Kenya.
That we have solutions right here.
We have solutions right now.
Oh, okay. Engineer Karanja, first of all, has COVID-19 disrupted you in any way, or is life as normal?
Well, it has definitely disrupted my normal schedule, and I have learned to do things from a distance, most of the things, and also I come up with innovative ways of doing things, and also possibly I wouldn't have thought about coming up with a ventilator time like now. So definitely even my thinking has changed now to seeing the challenges that we have as a country, and also trying to address those ones that we specifically have. Yes.
Okay, now let's address the equipment in front of us. I must admit, for some people, when you think ventilators, you think of those gas cylinders that are producing oxygen. But I'm seeing a completely different contraption. Let's start with where you are, Engineer Karanja, with this machine. Can you just take us through it? What is this?
Yeah, so this is basically what a mechanical ventilator is. We have basically, what a patient, a COVID-19 patient, the most important thing that they suffer from is the shortness of breath. So we as a team of members of College of Engineering in Jomo Kenyatta sat down, led by Professor and a team of other leaders. So we sat down and thought, how can we help in the breathing of patients in COVID-19? Because these patients are suffering from lack of proper breath. So we came up with a mechanism, or with an equipment that will help aid the lung process, or a breathing process. So what we have here is a mechanism, of course with the brain here. This is basically the brain, or the engine that drives the mechanism that helps push air into the lungs of the patient. This is the control, or the panel, what the clinician or the physician will be operating on, setting the parameters for the patient. Every patient has their own requirements, so they are set here. Then the patient is given whatever dosage of air that they require.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that controls everything.
Yes, this controls everything.
And what happens in this?
In here, we have a mixing of oxygen with normal air to the ratio that is required. Then we have, of course, the pressurizing of that air to the patient. The required, of course, we have to control the breaths per minute. We have to control the volume that we are putting into the patient, and also the rate at which they are inhaling and exhaling is different for different patients. So we also have taken that into account, and is controlled from here.
Where does the oxygen actually come from?
The oxygen comes from, we connect from the hospital. We normally have an oxygen line, or we can connect an oxygen cylinder here, and then therefore that oxygen is mixed here, and then it is taken to the patient.
Okay, let's follow the pipe. So you've got a link from that,
yes,
to our patient here.
Yes.
Just explain that process for me, please.
Okay, so when the process of mixing oxygen is done, then what happens is that the air is filtered and moisturized. Then it is taken to the patient through this piping into the lungs, and then once the patient breathes in, whatever they breathe out is also filtered, so that we don't have the pathogens from the patient also going into the open or contaminating the environment.
How is that taken out of how is that taken out of the body or the lungs?
The body naturally, exhaling is natural, but inhaling is what is a challenge.
Right.
Getting enough oxygen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've got the control, you've got oxygen here.
Yeah.
Through the pipe.
Yeah.
Into the patient.
Definitely.
Let's look at the patient, and first of all, maybe explain the mechanism of all these pipes that are. Is that the way it actually is when you go to an ICU?
Yes, normally you would have either this way, the oxygen is taken through the pipes to the patient, or you can have a mask here, which basically helps the patient in breathing. It also depends on the severity of the condition the patient is in. Sometimes the patient only gets air that is at a pressure continuously, and they don't really have to have these pipes inserted into them.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to now, before we just go into the demonstration of what this looks like, Professor, you are engineers. I believe you're not medical people.
We are not medical.
When it comes to the medical part of it, how much oxygen this person needs, how it will all be connected up, how have you factored in that?
Okay, we at Jomo Kenyatta, we have worked with the School of Medicine. We have experts in the medical area, and we have also consulted the Society of Anesthesiologists. They have been very helpful. We have even gone to actual ICUs where they have lectured to us and told us the exact parameters that we need to look into. And we are still continuing to do that even to this day.
Okay.
So we are engineers, not we are medics.
Now tell me, are we all connected that we can have a demonstration?
Yes, we can.
Before you switch it on, tell me what I should expect will happen once you turn on.
What you should expect is that the patient is going to be breathing,
okay,
aided. We assume that this is a patient who is not normally able to breathe on their own.
Or is struggling.
So when we aid them, is struggling with breath. So when we aid them, they should be able to breathe. And you will see the lungs. These lungs, you will see them responding to the breaths that is being pumped into the patient.
Okay, let's help our patient.
Okay.
So turning it on now.
Yeah, so turning it on.
Yeah.
But also, once I turn it on, I can set the parameters here, and of course I regulate how fast the breathing rate is with my controls here, and how much air I want to pump into the patient. As you notice, the patient is now breathing, though a bit fast, but I can set all that here, the rate at which they are breathing. I can also set the inhalation exhalation rate.
So how slow can it get? Depending
it can
on how
get
much breath?
to as low as 10 breaths per minute and as high as 50 breaths per
Maybe
minute.
try a slower breathing process. We see what happens.
Okay. Maybe that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And then if someone needs a lot of breath, if they're in an acute situation.
Yes. When you need more oxygen, of course, or more air, we of course can increase the amount of air that we are putting into the patient using this. We can either increase or decrease, depending on the body weight, the patient's body weight, and also depending on the age of the patient.
I was going to ask, what are the considerations in terms of what the person, how much assistance they need from the machine? Yeah, we talk about body. What are those kind of considerations? That maybe they're a lot more medical.
Okay, well, we don't go medical.
Yes.
We talk of pressure. We talk of the pressure that the lung can actually withhold. There's a pressure, so there's a maximum and a minimum. There's also what we call the tidal volume, the amount of air that one can inhale, and also there's the flow rate. All those things have to be controlled, and this we are guided now by we are given the limits, the minimum and the maximum. Now for the person to decide, is the doctor now who decides, depending on the response rate of the response.
And then you have a medical person who's operating or setting the equipment.
Yes, now what the condition they have given us, now we have also to put the alarms. There are so many modes at the alarms, like if it exceeds this, then you must set an alarm, because somebody, a doctor or the attendant of the patient may be away, and then maybe the pressures go high. There must be an alarm now to alert the person to come and deal with that.
Okay.
Because the compliance of the lungs also change. They can change. I can stiffen or I can be relaxed. So all those parameters have to be controlled.
Now, and the pipe can either go through the mouth, I mean, in terms of the patient, or sometimes they put it through
the trachea.
Yes.
I think this is invasive.
Yeah.
For the invasive system, it can go through the mouth. The others, I think, can go through the nose. I think, but we say we are not medics. We're the ones who decide, but normally it's through the airway. What we need to do is to ensure that the airway is open to allow the air to go. And then we also ensure that there are no other contaminants. So nothing else can enter through the sides. So there's a balloon that expands and then blocks any other part, so that we just have the airway open.
So, Engineer Karanja, when we've had a lot of words being exchanged between countries, a fight for ventilators, some countries wanting to grab everything that's available on the market. This is what they've been fighting over.
Yes, they have been fighting for the ventilators. Of course, there are more advanced ventilators, and we are moving to that. This is a mechanical ventilator. We are improving on that. We are actually carrying on our work as we continue moving forward, and hopefully we'll be able to come up with an ICU ventilator that can be stationed in an ICU, and we do not need to import anything at all. But as for the cases of emergency of COVID-19 and such, we are able to take care of with the ventilators that we are making.
Tell me about the material, the various components. Where do they come from? For me, it looks like a very kawaida kind of, things you would almost bake from a juakali fundi or engineer.
Yeah, so when the team is assembled at the university, what we looked at is what materials do we have locally available. Then we look at can we use our expertise and do everything from within the country without importing anything, because right now I think some of the things even importing is difficult. So we have all these. For example, this is Perspex, locally available. We have all the other things that are used are machined at the university's workshops. We have a very good workshop, prototyping workshop at the university. Therefore, we move from stage to stage, from the design stage all the way to the final product testing stage. And therefore, everything that you see here has been locally sourced, and also locally, whatever needs to be manufactured is locally manufactured, including programming, and everything that is done by a team of...
And the trolley as well.
And the trolley is also locally manufactured, yes.
How long did it take you to produce one, for example, the first one?
Yeah, let me mention this. Production it takes a very short time.
Right.
The problem, the challenge is first design. That process took about 2 weeks, and then about 1 week we were able to produce now this one as a prototype.
Right.
But now, from now on, one can produce at a much faster rate.
At what stage does it get approval and ready for use?
Now we have to engage the medical practitioners to approve it.
Yes.
So they are now looking at the various aspects. After that, now we cannot do it, but we are saying maybe within a week or two, it should be possible.
Assuming you get approval and ready to go, yes. What is your capacity? How many of these units can you manufacture in whatever period of time?
At JKUAT, we can make about 10 per week. That is the capacity we have. But university, as you know, is a place of research and development, not mass production. We are looking now into collaborating with the private partners so that they can all make parts, and we assemble. We can be able to make even more, like 20 or 30 or 40 per week.
So would you say that if you had all the resources that you needed, and maybe a commercial partner in terms of manufacturing to work with, Kenya can pretty say we're okay in terms of having enough ventilators?
Yeah, once facilitated, we are okay. We have all the technology, we have the capacity. Let's have confidence in that. We have due confidence.
Tell me about the challenges you went through to come up with this. Professor Engineer.
Okay.
Yeah, so first of all, the challenge is assembling a team at the moment, because the universities are closed. So a team had to be assembled. That took quite a bit of lobbying, so that people can come now from wherever they are quarantined at home. And then maybe we had meetings online. It is not a normal thing to have meetings online. So we had meetings online, the designs are shared online, and everything is discussed back and forth through emails and through online meetings. So definitely we had some challenges in communication, and also when it comes to production, because we have equipment not for mass production but for mainly training and research, we also have that challenge. But if we had an industrial partner, a proper industrial partner, then we possibly can be able to have an easy flow, because we already have the designs, everything is documented, and therefore what needs is just the production process. And in that production process, then there would be most possibly a smooth flow.
Have you approached potential partners to produce this, to upscale it?
So we have talked with a few, and they are in agreement that we can actually do it. They are private partners as small scale. That the SMEs.
Yes.
Yes. So what we now are looking forward to really upscaling it once it is approved.
Okay.
Yes.
And as we draw to an end, tell me about the team behind this. Are you involving students as well?
There are a few students that are involved, but mainly we have lecturers. Now there's some idle capacity because there's no teaching. Teaching is just online and not as much. There are no practicals going on. So we have a few students, but mainly we are using the lecturers.
Okay.
Yes.
So maybe finally to you, Engineer Karanja, there are some people watching this, potential innovators, people who are looking for opportunities to come up with things that can help in COVID-19 or other things. What would be your advice to potential innovators who are watching this show right now?
My advice is that do not stop at where you are, do your design. So long as the design is good, For example, as a university, we are always open to innovators, not necessarily from within the university, but sometimes even innovators who have unique ideas from outside are incubated within the university. So come to even the university, talk to us. I will be able to incubate your idea and help you develop it further, offering professional services of developing the product. So people should not look at it as though it is a very difficult process. You start from where you are, however simple the product, so long as it is an innovative product. You start from where you are and then you come all the way to a final product.
Okay, now Professor, just in terms of if we did not have COVID-19, would we have this innovation?
Normally we start research and development from the need.
Okay.
That's what normally happens. We are doing a lot of innovations based on the need. And now that we have it and we have seen the need, number two, we have seen also our capability in solving the healthcare. We are talking about universal healthcare. We couldn't be having this one, but we are now that we are talking about manufacturing, we are focusing on other areas from manufacturing. Couldn't be there. Now this one has helped us. We are going now to, not after this, even after the COVID-19 is over, we are now going to proceed further to make other more equipment to help the health sector.
Okay, Professor Engineers, stay with me for a moment. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back.
This is NTV. Basic protective measures as guided by the World Health Organization. Clean hands frequently with soap and clean water. Cover nose and mouth when coughing and sneezing with a tissue or flexed elbow. Avoid close contact 1 meter or 3 feet with anyone with cold or flu-like symptoms. If you have fever, cough and difficulty breathing, seek medical care early. Avoid raw or uncooked animal products. Help the world put an end to the spread of respiratory diseases by sharing this message with a friend. Message brought to you by Sour Herbal Family Bath Soap.
Working from home? No problem. Fiber Home has you covered with the fastest and most reliable internet speeds. Get connected today. Kazi lazima iendelee.
Do your gums hurt? Yeah. Does your toothpaste contain sage, eucalyptus, myrrh, chamomile? All that in one toothpaste? Yes, try Colgate Herbal. Colgate Herbal contains nature's best herbs and Colgate's fluoride technology to give you strong teeth and healthy gums. Ah, Colgate Herbal. Let's go. Colgate Herbal for strong teeth and healthy gums naturally.
She's not here.
It's my fault. It's all my fault. You died because of me, and now Mom and Dad are separating because of me.
You have to hold on.
Hold on to what?
Hope.
Heaviness and a burning inside. It could be heartburn.
Indigestion and heartburn? Eno gets to work in 6 seconds and works on the 6 symptoms of heartburn so you can keep living life non-stop. Eno, fight heartburn and indigestion fast.
I'm a child of God. I am a child of God.
Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Yeah. Burn it away, God. Burn it away, burn it away. Burn it away. God, you are seated at the right hand of the Father. You are holy.
who stole his love from me, the one who took the man of my life from me, Grandma, is my very own sister. I'm returning your husband to you completely. I love him more than my own life, and that is why precisely what I want most is for him to be happy.
You never wanted my granddaughter in your son's life. If you accepted their relationship, it was only because I threatened you.
Neither your excessive makeup nor your provocative clothes help you to be special.
I said you're still the same woman without a heart and soul, without scruples.
I'm not going to let you insult me.
I'm not actually insulting you. I'm just accurately describing you.
The three sides of Anna.
This is the time to make sure every table in Kenya has food on it. Dial star 126 hash to transfer your bonga points now so they can buy food and necessities at any outlet with a Lipa na M-Pesa till.
Safaricom is for you.
Now, I'm surrounded by Kenyan innovators and Kenyan innovations, but in Uganda, the innovators too are not left behind. Very capable, functional, homemade ventilators are the order of the day.
We have got 950 bed capacity. So if we were to turn every point into an ICU bed, we would need more ventilators, more monitors, and therefore would require to have an extra 700 ventilators.
This call to action by the Executive Director of Mulago Hospital points to a critical shortage of ventilators in many intensive care units across the country. The ICU equipment costs anywhere between $20,000 to $30,000. This is a highly prohibitive figure for a developing country like Uganda. A team of scientists at Chira Motors Corporation have, however, partnered with Makerere University to come up with a cheaper option.
We see that there is need for us to be thinking greatly about the possibility of developing capacity within Uganda for locally making low-cost ventilators.
So it will do exactly what is expected without the necessity of having a lot of extras. That contributes to the compression of the price. But then the most important thing is that you're using local materials. Whether the local materials are suitable for use is going to be validated.
The innovators say they have concluded the discovery stage and now have an idea of how the equipment will work.
These electronics are the ones which control the heartbeat of the patient. Then out of the ventilator we have the breathing circuit with the patient. The breathing circuit is, of course, is fitted with the filters, which you saw here.
So how long will it take for the equipment to hit the market? The scientists say in the event that there is need, the first ventilator can be ready in not less than 8 months.
Very important for us to observe that a ventilator will work even past COVID. Yeah, so if we are to address the COVID, should we have an immediate need for ventilators? Then within a period of 12 weeks, we should be able to supply some units with early approvals. But otherwise, we have to go through very extended clinical trials, which in the world over have proven to take quite a bit of time.
The innovation is just one of many that have emerged in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic.
My appeal is to ensure that their innovations go through the right procedure. Once these approvals are given and also get validated by the World Health Organization and locally the National Drug Authority and any other entity, we will be gladly ready to use them.
Edward Muhumza, NTV.
Okay, so Professor and Engineer Karanja, what do you make of what you've seen from Makerere University?
This is quite impressive, and I think we are moving in the same direction. And I think, we are a Pan-African. When we are looking at these things, we are saying that Africa has got solutions, its own solutions. And it is what you have said, the approval process is takes quite a long time. But for COVID, addressing COVID issues, what we need is a basic. And it is possible actually to, within 2 weeks or 3 weeks, to start producing. And I think what they are doing in Makerere, what we are doing in JKU and other universities here, and other private manufacturers, what they are doing, I think is quite impressive. We should go on.
Okay, now for you, Karanja, as an engineer, what did you make of the actual components? I saw some similarities with what you have here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what we have is everybody is trying to use what they can locally source and manufacture a ventilator the best way they can. So for the emergency, and of course after this, it's going to be a thought process where we are going to need to now manufacture not only ventilators, but medical equipments, which by and large have not been so much manufactured. We are only thinking about manufacturing, but we are never thinking about the medical equipment. So I think this is a wake-up call for us. And going by what Prof has said, it's now a call to everybody involved in the manufacturing business to start thinking about medical equipments.
Now, we heard Makerere there in Uganda. We also know other universities in Kenya doing the same thing as you're doing. Aren't there opportunities for collaboration?
Yeah, opportunities are there. And actually, we are collaborating with Makerere in many other areas. And even within here, even Jomo Kenyatta, we are collaborating with other universities locally here. Dedan Kimathi, Moi University, and so on, for many other areas. And we also, at JKU, we also have the Pan-African University Institute of Science, Technology, and Innovation, where you're having people from all over Africa working together, and they also have an innovation. So we continue working together. Now that we know that they are doing, we can compare notes and actually see how we can now up now the quality and everything else.
Now, I had them mention, you know, the longest it could take is 8 months or maybe 12 weeks to market.
Yes.
What about yourselves?
What happens, what he was mentioning about the time to market, is talking of an equipment that costs between $2,000 to $3,000. We are talking of maybe 2 million shillings to 3 million shillings. That is a high-end equipment that it has got everything. It can even deal with the neonates, the infants, and so on. Or the instrumentation that is required is quite a lot. So in order to do that, you require maybe a much longer time. But for basic, really, within 1 month, it should be possible to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Professor Engineer, thank you very much indeed for coming to the studio to share with us. Let me cross over to Somalia, where a young man makes an automated variant of the manual Ambu resuscitator bag. He hopes that his device will help save lives and bolster Somalia's efforts in the fight against COVID-19.
waxyaaba isku geeyay tan waa diinimo waxaa ku xiran intaa lagu kontaroolaa tan baxaysa iyo tan soo gelaysa labadaba marka la rabo qofka in hawo lagu siiyo waa la riixaa waa la sii
Okay, again, Professor Engineer Karanja, what's your reaction to what we've just seen from Somalia?
Okay. Yeah, I think that's quite impressive. People are really thinking, and I think one thing, if we are talking of the many negatives about COVID, but this COVID also is making, it has got a positive, there's thinking. The principles from engineering perspective, they are very good. Yeah, it may appear like it is rudimentary, but it is still going to help. It can save a life. So it is quite impressive. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, okay. Engineer?
Yeah, so definitely I think that is the boy deserves to be patted at back. I think he's really doing well at his age and with what he has. Definitely that is something that can be improved. I'm sure there are some professionals there who can help him do a lot better with better controls and better, a little bit more development of his idea can save a lot of lives. So definitely I think it's everybody now thinking, how can we help in our little way? How can we help? And I think as people in the engineering fraternity, we will offer our services to anybody who wants to be advised on how to manufacture any of these equipments that we can be able to help.
Okay, and Professor, finally, there's hope that we might eventually now go back to be a manufacturing country and continent rather than import everything from the outside world as we normally do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is true. There is hope. And actually, we also run a manufacturing research chair that is actually supported by the National Commission for Science, Technology and Innovation and IDRC at JKUAT. We are doing quite a lot towards that. I know manufacturing now currently is just contributing about 10% of the GDP in Kenya. So we didn't need to get back to where we were and even move further to over 30% in manufacturing.
Okay.
Yes.
Professor, thank you very much, Engineer Karanja, for coming in with this. Good luck. We hope to see it on the market quite soon.
Thank you very much.
I hope our patient here has recovered.
Yeah, he's okay.
The machine is off, so he's okay. Now, French engineers have joined forces to invent a low-cost open-source ventilator known as Macaire, something they've achieved from a basement in Western France.
Cette machine-là, elle peut aller très bien dans des pays comme l'Afrique, pour éviter toute la poussière, etc. Et pour que l'air respiré par le patient soit propre. On a des filtres un peu partout.
A team of doctors from Johannesburg's Charlotte Public Hospital showcases a newly designed coronavirus protection device for healthcare workers. The Intubox is the brainchild of 4 local doctors, inspired by a similar aerosol box used in Taiwan for sedated and intubated patients. It will have an open source patent to allow healthcare workers around the world to manufacture it.
The Intubox was designed by the Charlotte Hospital emergency team. We looked at what was existing on the market and found that there was very simple square box with 2 holes, and we tried it and wasn't really effective in terms of what we felt we needed to do with it.
The idea is that this box will create a seal around the patient so that whatever further procedures are needed will happen inside the box. For example, if you have to suction down the tube, you have to disconnect the patient from the ventilator, and if they cough, that's a very dangerous thing for staff. So by ensuring that all of that occurs inside the box, you're actually isolating the patient in a container. The virus cannot spread to your other patients, it cannot spread to your staff, so everybody is more protected than they would usually be.
There's been a lot of requests for us to send the details of how it was made. And what we're agreeing with the company that's actually manufacturing it is that we will have an open IP or patent that would allow them to manufacture wherever, because obviously to get it around the world is difficult.
I think all healthcare workers on the front line have gotten used to the idea that they are at risk. They are likely to still get infected despite everything that we're doing. And it's simply part of the job. I mean, healthcare workers have been going to Ebola regions for years. We treat drug-resistant TB here. We treat severely infective meningitis. This is not the first infective agent that we've had to cope with. And I think for a lot of us, this is simply adapt and move on.
An Indian school dropout has built a motorbike with a 1 meter gap between the rider and the passenger to drive home the importance of social distancing during the coronavirus pandemic. Partha Saha, a 39-year-old mechanic, says in response to the COVID-19 problem in the world, our government is saying that we need to maintain distance between people and to use masks. So I thought, well, why not make innovation that will help us to go somewhere if needed and also maintain at least 1 meter of social distancing. My daughter, how shall I take her to the school when it reopens while maintaining social distancing on a bike? That's when I was struck with this idea that I can extend a bike in such a way that my daughter can ride seated more than a meter away from me, and that's why I made this bike. The bike is 3 meters in length in total, and there is 1 meter distance between the front wheel and the back wheel, 1 meter between the front seat and the pillion seat, and 1 meter between the back seat and the wheel.
বেশি সাজলে কিন্তু ব্যাপারটা হইতো না। হ্যাঁ, ওইটা হইতো যেমন না যেমন নাই। মানে ধরেন যেটা ক্যামেরা তো আরো ফাঁকা হয়ে দাঁড়াও। একটু দাও তো।
That's a very long bike. Kwenye kona zetu nazo, thousands of South Africans queue for a food distribution in the Oranbush township near Centurion. Residents of the area had waited overnight for a non-governmental organization to distribute 2,200 tons of food, masks and gel disinfectant. President Ramaphosa unveiled a package of economic and social support measures worth more than $26 billion, of which almost $2.5 billion is for helping the poor.
There were too many of us. We slept here in order to get this food. We slept here to catch the queues. So it took too long because we were too many. But at least we appreciate what the government is doing.
So right now, we are trying to reach 30,000 people in this community with a food parcel. We're working with each area every day. Specific area, we've already handed out tags for food, and now they must come here and get their food, and then they go home.
Today, and I'm so happy. I came here last night, but now I'm done. Thank you, God. Thank you, Mahlasedi Foundation.
Meal and some flour and rice. And box with the coke inside the box.
Okay, let's see what you've been sending us through #NewNormal and also via our WhatsApp line. Here are some of your comments. We've got one that has come in from first of all, let me tell you, the question of the day as we posted it was, what's the best way to help Kenyan innovators develop local solutions to curb COVID-19? And here are some of your responses. This one is from Mary Insel. We in Canada are social distancing and hand washing, quarantine the sick, masks in public. Thank you, Mary, for that. We also have a comment here from Khaindeja. Lockdown isn't the solution, just watch the pace as our people suffer. We have another comment. This one comes from Martinez Mukisa. They only need prayers from heaven. Wow, okay. And a comment here from Marcus Rashford. Corruption is the disease killing us by now. Stop corruption and all will be well. And then one final comment here from Edith Lande. There's so much happening behind the scenes in these times of coronavirus pandemic. The worst is that most of our leaders are making a kill out of the unfortunate circumstances. Only God can lift us from this situation. Okay, so I'm joined by two other innovators here in the studio with me. We've got Elfas Hajira. Elfas is a software developer. Good morning. Welcome to your world.
Good morning to you.
Okay. Victor Mutembo. Victor, welcome. You are a programmer actually with a medical background. It's interesting to see how you combine those. Let me start with you, Elfas, first of all. Tell us what you've come up with. Just give us a sense of what you have.
So I came up with an application that is a proof of concept for contact tracing. When two people with a smartphone basically just pass each other, or two smartphones are in the same proximity of about 5 feet, the two devices will do a handshake, exchange an anonymous key, and then when one of this person goes and tests positive for an infection, and they go to a facility will give them a code which they can enter to the app. Then the app will upload their key for the other devices to just synchronize, and if they find that that key is infected, they'll be given a notification about that they came into contact with someone who's infected and they need to take some actions, maybe self-quarantine or seek medical advice. Then to top it up, I added some location, where an optional location feature where you can be able to export your location history from Google Maps, upload it to the app. So once you test positive and you enter the code, you can be given the option to upload your location history of the last 7 days, the last places you visited 7 days.
So just so make sure that I'm following this. So when I'm this close to you, this is about 1.5 meters, we met on the streets.
Yes.
Our phones will anonymously exchange
yes.
that key.
Yes.
And if, God forbid, I should then turn positive, you can be able to track who else I and my phone may have been in contact with.
Yes.
Okay. And how does that anonymously happen? I mean, do I have to have downloaded the app to do that?
Yes, you need to download the app. So what the app will do, it will just generate an anonymous string of letters. So you have just like about 50 letters that are randomly generated, unique. So that's the unique identifier to a device. It's a random unique identifier with just characters. So once you once you test positive, you just upload that, and then we match against every key, every other anonymous. So other devices will be saving that anonymous key in their phones. And then
so suppose if wherever I am and I've been interacting with people, I've got this app on my phone, your app on my phone.
Yeah.
Every now and then I can log in to check whether I might have been in contact with anyone who was positive.
The moment you open the app will synchronize all infected keys, and then check against whatever you interacted with locally, and then give you a notification that one of the people you came into contact with was infected.
Now, tell me about security as well, because we are also quite sensitive to security if I'm transferring data to you anonymously in kind of a Bluetooth kind of way. How do I make sure that it's only the data as far as COVID-19 is concerned that is actually displayed?
So the only data you're transferring is literally a garbage of strings that cannot be, you can't use it to say this is this person. You cannot use that collection of strings, which is literally about around 50 characters, to identify any person. Even when you get a notification, you're not told that you came into contact with so and so. You'll just be told you came into contact with one of the person your device has made contact with, it has tested positive.
Well, from your view, what's the likelihood of people signing up to this kind of device?
I think one, if you look at it...
and I'm asking this because we're also talking about Kenyans who sometimes don't choose to follow even the basic things like wear a mask or even observe the curfew.
It's quite actually, it's something that I tend to think it should be from self-will, because at the end of the day, we are looking at how to manage this. If we don't manage it, we all stand to lose. So if you contribute to this, it's something you opt yourself to contribute for your own sake. You can't literally force someone to use it, but we've seen countries like Korea where this has been managed pretty well. They had to amend their laws and have the health system just say, we need to be able to get data from people, how people have been interacting to manage this. And this comes from the experience with previous, they had an infection, I think in 2015, and that's how at some point they were at the same level at the US in terms of the number of deaths, and then they just flattened out and managed the whole situation because people looked at it and saw that at the end of the day, there's a small cost you just have to pay for
the greater good and for your well-being.
And for your well-being.
Efforts, stay with me. I'll be right back. We're going to go on a short break right now.
Let the music hit you, move you, or just make you end your day perfectly. Catch hit after hit of music that gets you grooving on weekday nights. Only on NTV.
I'm going to show you some pictures, okay?
Mother!
Which one of them, Jono? We need to get rid of every single one of the witnesses. You're one of the few who can still get close to Erica. You will be the one to kill Erica, as well as Jono.
I have good news. Agatha's going to live with us again. Welcome home, Agatha!
You know, we've known each other for so long, but I never got to meet your son.
I can take you to him so you can finally meet him. That's dangerous. What if she brings Jolo with her?
All the better for me, so I can kill them both at once.
We're ready for you, Rocco.
Entertain your callers with your favorite tune when they call you. To get Yeah by Josh Extra, dial star 811 star 930 hash. To get Nakupenda by Mwenye Haki, dial star 811 star 937 hash. To get Bao by Kasim Ganga, dial star 811 star 926 hash. Skiza na Nation.
You spoke, we listened, and now every weekday at 6:30 a.m. you can join Evelyn and Peter to get your daily fitness fix. Some body exercises and some dancing, while at each you could even lose some weight. Get moving, we guarantee you will love it.
uncertain times as we navigate the new normal, we hope that this note finds you and your family safe. We are indeed living in an increasingly challenging time, a time of disruption and a global lockdown, a disruption that has brought grief to some, financial difficulties to so many of us, and enormous changes to life as we know it. Now, though self-isolation may at times be hard, many people are discovering that it presents an opportunity for all of us to slow down, to pause and reflect. Many will feel a painful sense of separation from their loved ones, but we know that deep down that is the right thing to do. We should take comfort that while we may have more still to endure, better days will return. And even as we navigate this new normal, your favorite show, The Trend, promises you to continue providing a huge variety of splendid entertainment full of iconic acts, Skype interviews with our local entertainment industry heroes. And we continuously promise to bring you nothing but the best. You, our viewer, we want to provide a steady guide of entertainment as we face the future. Staying in is the new going out. Stay home and stay safe. Make sure that you tune to The Trend every Friday right here on NTV.
The woman who stole his love from me, the one who took the man of my life from me, Grandma, is my very own sister. I'm returning your husband to you completely. I love him more than my own life, and that is why precisely what I want most is for him to be happy.
You never wanted my granddaughter in your son's life. If you accepted their relationship, it was only because I threatened you.
Neither your excessive makeup nor your provocative clothes help you to be special.
I said you're still the same woman without a heart and soul, without scruples.
I'm not going to let you insult me.
I'm not actually insulting you. I'm just accurately describing you.
The three sides of Anna.
This is the time to make sure every table in Kenya has food on it. Dial *126# to transfer your bonga points now so they can buy food and necessities at any outlet with a Lipa na M-Pesa till.
Safaricom is for you.
Do your gums hurt? Yeah. Does your toothpaste contain sage, eucalyptus, myrrh, chamomile? All that in one toothpaste? Yes, try Colgate Herbal. Colgate Herbal contains nature's best herbs and Colgate's fluoride technology to give you strong teeth and healthy gums. Ah, Colgate Herbal. Let's go. Colgate Herbal for strong teeth and healthy gums naturally.
Okay, so I have got my second developer here with me in the studio, Victor Mtembo, who is a programmer, and as we said, he also has a medical background. Good morning and welcome to your world.
Thank you.
Okay, now, what was before you even tell us what it is, what inspired you to go in this direction of this particular app that you're going to be talking about?
So, late last year, we noticed that there was a disease called coronavirus that was spreading very rapidly in China. And then by looking that every day the numbers were exponentially increasing, we saw that because of the African system, we don't have enough medical personnel or equipment to handle this kind of condition when it comes to our country. So together with my two partners, Crispus and Tumaini, we sat down and listed down a list of interventions that we can come up with to help our system. So we designed software that does contact tracing, and that was early January this year. And we've also made progress and made two other innovations to do with case management and triaging of patients.
Okay, let's talk about the contact tracing first. Yeah. What is it? How does it work?
So contact tracing is the question that every Ministry of Health across the globe is asking, because we need to be able to trace the people that have been exposed to this disease. So the systems that are currently being used are very assumptive, because you cannot be able to determine exactly which person has been into contact with a person who has already tested positive of coronavirus. So we made a software that is able to determine the people that are in a close proximity with you every time you move from one place to another. As you enter any means of transport, that is like a matatu, or when you are entering a building.
Is that through your mobile phone?
Sure. So this software captures your identification, and it puts a timestamp, date, and GPS coordinates. So for instance, assuming that a particular person took on a matatu that was going from Nairobi to Kiambu, and then they went to another big institution just in Kiambu, so we can be able to know which people were in that matatu at a particular point in time with this person, and when this person also entered that institution. So that helps because we know that coronavirus has an estimated incubation period of 14 days. So we can, using this software, we can be able to go back 14 days and then look at which people were into contact with this person who was already tested positive. And instead of locking down an entire capital city, which is very harmful to the economy and also making people lose their jobs and causing many other problems, we can be able to identify these particular people, test them, and quarantine them.
So life can continue, but you focus on how the virus is moving around and isolate those who get affected. Sure,
yeah, life can continue, yeah. So because you see, we've invested, this is like a preventive mechanism, unlike the treatment modalities, which are 50 times more expensive. So I think it's something that we can fix with this kind of innovation. Instead of investing in treating, we can invest a fraction of that budget in preventing the spread of the disease.
Okay, and I'm just checking whether Elfas, you're all connected now. We want to do hold on to that. I'll speak to you in a moment. Sure. Let's cross over to the first app that we spoke about, which is also a contact tracing app from Elfas. Can you take us through what you're gonna do?
Sure. Probably can share my screen.
Okay. Yeah, we have it on screen, so go ahead.
So right now I have two devices. We can see that there are two Android devices on my screen, but there's a third device as well. So what happened is when the user just has to enable a feature to allow their device to discover any nearby devices by just turning on the two settings. Once they do that, what will happen is every time your device makes contact with another device, it will record that. So to simulate that we lose contact, I'm just going to try and make one of those devices disappear. So
okay, that's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah.
So you'll notice that the first device has updated that it's lost contact with this device.
Okay.
Then it's come back. It's added a new, it's added a new interaction with that device.
So are we assuming these are two people?
Those are two people
who came into contact?
Yes.
Exchanged anonymous
yes.
keys, yeah?
Yes.
And then?
So every time, there are situations where you might interact with the same person quite a couple of times, say in the office.
Right.
So it's good to log all the interactions you make with that person. So every time you make that interaction, we log that.
And it gives you a time, so if it's someone in the office and see at this time and at this time and at this time, you're in contact with such a person.
But you don't know who it is. It's just you made contact with
a gadget.
Yes, with a gadget.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
So now what will happen is, so suppose one of these devices was to test positive. What will happen is they'll come and just have to upload their key.
So you're logged on, you're uploading your key.
So on the other device, there's a secondary device which is acts like a hospital. The hospital is supposed to just generate a code. So you can just try and generate a code on that device. So because you don't want someone to just say they're positively infected, they're positive, yet they're not necessarily positive. So we need to have some form of verification from the facility. So I'm just going to to generate a code to use.
Okay. So now you are the hospital, right?
Yeah, with this tablet, I'm the hospital.
Okay.
So the code is 14221. Then I'll upload it. Once I upload, notice what has happened on that device. There's a red notification.
The one on the right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if I open that, you came into contact with someone who's tested positive. So
that's the alert that I will get on my phone?
Yes. So if you click it, you can see the information about the alert, and then that's just some data to help see what you can be able to do.
Does it tell you where?
No.
Nothing at all.
We do not track the location at any instance, because again, it again boils down to what we are willing to do as a country. Are we willing to allow the government or the health organizations to be able to track those locations for the greater good, or are we willing not to do it?
So people still be a bit more reluctant to entrust a lot of their data with government. Okay.
But now the interesting thing about it is Google Maps offers a feature where you can literally track your location and just download it on your device. It's yours. No one else can see it.
And if you want to share it,
if you want to share it, you can. So what I did is I created a module that allows you to import that data, filter whatever you want to share. Probably you don't want the government to know where you stay. So you just want to share the places you visited. So I'll try and import data from my location history. So what I'll do is I'll come here. So I'll come and just look for, I already downloaded that file. This is something that you can show us, you can have it people trained to see how they can do this. So this is the data. It's shown, those are the locations I visited.
Okay. So if, say, you had tested positive for COVID-19, we can tell that you have been to these places.
I have been to these places.
Okay.
But right now, that data is not shared. It's still in my device.
Yes.
So what I can do is I can come here, I can come to this, and then decide, I changed most of the names, so I decide that.
So if you were doing something that you don't want the people to know, whatever you were doing at Waiyaki Ridge Gardens, you're going to delete that.
Yeah. And then I'll delete that. And then what I'll do,
someone at home might ask why you deleted that. But anyway, okay.
So, and then what I'll do, I'll share this data with now the health organizations, which will be displayed on this tablet. So
and now they can begin to do their contact. I see. Okay.
So I'll just do that. It's already shared. And when I come to this tablet,
back to the hospital
or
government,
there's a new entry. It's just a whole garbage of strings, but now it shows the same data.
Does the hospital know who you are?
No, it doesn't.
It's just
it's just someone who just, it's at random. That, you remember whatever I mentioned?
Yes.
Some characters.
Okay.
Yes, it's just some characters went to this.
Efas, hold on. Let me come back for a moment to Victor here, because you're doing something similar but different approaches. What's the main difference between what Efas has developed and what you are working on?
What I've realized is that his software is user dependent, so it's upon the person using the app to render that information to
and
other,
to share it when they want.
To the community. However, our software is something that is instituted. Like, for instance, if you for the case scenario of Super Metro Matatu Sacco that goes to Kiambu and Thika, the management has instituted our software to be used there, and that is the main difference.
Okay. Now, and as a medical person, what input or what insights have you brought onto this development? Just briefly.
So into this, I've brought the epidemiological understanding, and that information that is rendered to these softwares, like the software for Hygiene, can be used to predict hotspots, and it can show disease trends and display that on a dashboard, also including things like epidemiological maps.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now, as we come to a close, let me start with you. So where are you at in development? Just very briefly, how soon might we be able to see this in action on people's phones?
Actually, we have finished. We cannot say that we finished, but the software is working.
Right.
And software is not something that comes to an end of development. Every time you have to make iterations to fit it, make it more user-friendly and many other considerations.
Okay, thank you. And then, Elfas, in a few seconds, again, how far are you from going to market?
So for me, I'd say this is a proof of concept. I was actually waiting for, I think in about a week or so, Google and Apple are going to release a much sophisticated API for doing this, and it's going to be much interesting to develop with that because it gives you much capabilities as opposed to what I have done. So the goal is just to show that this is something that can be used.
It's doable.
It's doable,
yeah.
And we've seen that other countries have been able to do it and have succeeded in the fight using such technology.
Okay, so Kenya can be the next South Korea thanks to Elfas and Victor when their innovations hit the market and are successful and tested. So just before we go, let's have a look at some of your comments, what you've been saying to us on #NewNormal. And this is what you've been saying. There's one here from Addis Wise Mike Browns. My question is, if people are receiving medication in Kenya, are we not heard? Yeah, okay. My screen now produces in Kenya. We are not heard from doctors on the ground, and we're not hearing anything from the people who are found positive. We want to see the facilities these people are being treated from. Thank you so much for that. We've also got another comment here from Kalaja. We do not have a particular group of people called innovators. Everyone should be encouraged to try their way. Innovation shouldn't necessarily rest on technology and other areas. Now then, did you know that in the spirit of innovations, we've decided to remind you some of the greatest innovations that transformed the world. Did you know that Alexander Graham Bell and Antonio Meucci were the ones who invented the telephone? The word telephone literally means far voice in Greek. In 2007, Steve Jobs announced the first iPhone, and the era began. Did you know that Nikola Tesla, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Edison, and Alessandro Volta gave the world the electric battery, the light bulb, and consequently everything that runs on electricity? Monday's electricity made possible most of the important inventions that made all the difference in the world. Did you know that vaccines are one of the greatest life-changing inventions of all time? Without them, humanity would still be facing the everyday horrors of smallpox, polio, and measles. Today, smallpox is the only human disease that is extinct worldwide. So, thank God to our innovators, including the ones we have in the studio. Join us tomorrow, 6:30 a.m. for a really fantastic workout with professional trainers. On behalf of my guests this morning, my NTV team here, it's goodbye, keep safe, and good morning.
Oh,